And we are live. We see some activity rising in the east of the sun there. We see a oddly low silver price, highest photons ever measured in terms of energy levels, hot mics, and more. So stay tuned. We're going to keep this one pretty short, folks. We're going to give you 1 minute of lead time to tell your friends and foes to join the live stream. Again, 1 minute of lead time, and we shall be right back. And by the way, folks, this track's called Unified Theory 3, and if you're interested in adding it to your MP3 collection or streaming it at full volume, check out the links in the description below the video. And yes, it is about the unified theory of physics. We are looking at the 131 angstroms view here, and this is the last 48 hours of activity. And here's that active region rising here on the left, aka the east, as sunspot 2743 degrades and sets on the west. Let's look at the 171 angstroms view also, as it is a good view for showing magnetic loops. If you're interested in what the different wavelengths mean, please head to the SDO page, SDO/data, this one here, and just click on it. Click on the eye. So this one is the spectra of iron 8, although it shows iron 9. So I don't know if it's VII or IX, but anyway, 8 times ionized hydrogen, iron. So that's the 171 angstroms view. 131 is actually iron 7 and iron 20. Oh, right, because there's a proton, right? I mean a neutron. Yeah, okay, I got it. Never mind. Anyway, the 131 angstroms view, as well as the 94 angstroms, takes images every 2 seconds instead of every 10 seconds. So it's got a 5 times higher resolution. That's why we look at those. So with that in mind, let's look at the 94 angstroms. I thought I turned autoplay back on, but the settings must have been revamped, folks. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so if you enjoy the content. And it looks like we have a coronal hole rising into view also. So let's take a couple more moments here to look at the 193 angstroms view. Serious coronal hole here in the south. And one rising right in front of that active region, right where my pointer is, right at the end of the video. So we've got some coronal holes and a very weak solar wind stream. Here's a real-time solar wind. Solar wind density all the way down to 2.24 protons per cubic centimeter. Waiting for a connection with that coronal hole in the south. So when you see a 180-degree mark here, that's going to be an earthquake uptick risk, especially if the BZ drops at the same time. That's the directional proportion of the BT-BZ. The BT is the total field, and the BZ is the angle, whether it's angled toward the north or toward the south. So anyway, very low solar wind density. And although we have seen an uptick in the solar wind speed over the past 24 hours, it's now dropping back down again. We should see some sputtering there on the magnetogram. Here are the magnetosphere movies, courtesy of University of Michigan. We expect to see very low density, obviously. Let's let these play through. As the magnetosphere goes ding. Anyway, we see a very low solar wind density, and that's what you see coming in from the left there. Low density is shown in lighter colors, high density shown in darker colors. We're also going to look at the pressure, seen here, which is very low as you would expect. Let that play through. And we'll look at the ground geospace magnetic perturbations right after this. Changes in the B field a little closer to home, folks. So now we're looking at Earth's B field and the changes therein, which matter for things like where the geomagnetic poles are located. So we don't see very many perturbations here at the beginning, at least, over either North Pole or the South Pole, which is creeping in the southern Indian Ocean toward Western Australia or perhaps toward India. So nothing to really note there on the ground perturbations. If you like the channel, please support it by visiting the links below the video in the description box. Just click that description arrow there and you should see links like this and like this. Our Patreon tier is only $1, so thanks all you patrons. And for you non-patrons, there is some public material also available here, such as our mission. So go have a read. We'll at least get clicks, even if we don't get cash. And again, we're only at a $1 tier per month right now, folks. Also, check out the Hemp Lucid campaign for our spaced out viewers, specifically designed for y'all. So visit the links there also. There's a sale going on in the whole plant CBD hemp seed oil suspension. 1,000 milligrams, also in the Kalki certified THC-free products. There's also waxes and lip balm and gummies and body cream and pet CBDs. So check it out, the Spaced Out campaign, in the links below the video in the description. Also, hey, Therify. Hey, Ublicity. We haven't gotten to Becky yet, as there were some issues with yesterday and the day before's ride. But don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. If you're interested in sponsoring the cycling team, please visit theveloshop.net. Check out who it is, and well, who it is pro cyclist Becky Quinn, who owns the place, and one of the top mechanics in the Lehigh Valley, if not the top mechanic in the Lehigh Valley, Alan Schaefer. If you're scared to work on a $6,000 bike, Alan's not. Anyway, if you're interested in sponsoring the team, please email me at smAsho@gmail.com. We will institute that and get you on the jersey. Also, follow the Instagram page if you like. You may see some stuff that has nothing to do with space weather.
Could say is it could have been worse, right? I suppose if the printing presses were turned over directly to the politicians, right? If the president or the Speaker of the House, if they were in charge, if they set monetary policy, then it probably would be even looser than it.
Some scenery in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. I must be going uphill. I don't look happy. Here's your local yellow dwarf, and here's your local bike shop. I like to shop at places that match my clothes. The GoFundMe campaign is gone, but you can still buy music. So check that out at soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. Here's that track unified theory we were just listening to. I think that's only 99 cents. So add it to your MP3 collection and open up your moth-filled wallet. Check out SoundCloud also. Some older stuff there and some weirder stuff indeed. 10.7 centimeter radio flux still at 68, higher than predicted values, but pretty low. And we see more noctilucent clouds with lots of water in the mesosphere over Paris. Sunspot number at 11, as we still have a setting sunspot group. So remember, folks, sunspots are not the only indicator of solar activity. Let's look at things like X-ray flux also. You don't want to only include solar radiance, folks. The magnetic fields are the chief governing aspect of how the sun behaves. Anyway, we see a flatlined X-ray flux. And we see a weak magnetometer as forecasted yesterday, based on what we saw on the gong. This is going to continue, actually, until we see this active region get more Earth-facing as the sun's B field is being yanked over in the easterly direction. KP is at 1. Here's the electron flux, super low. Your GPSs will be working great, even around the equator. No charging hazards for satellites. F2 layer very discharged on the night side and looking pretty normal on the day side. Not exceedingly discharged despite the very low solar wind. Aurora forecasts are super weak, but if you're in northern Canada, go have a look. I'm going to look at the intensity gram here. Actually, this is just the visible, I think. Yeah, here's the visible. This goes back to the 25th. You see that sunspot group setting? Zoom way in there. So that goes from the 25th until the current time. You see that sunspot group leaving on the right side there as it sets in the west. Nothing to write home about. Here's the Gong 2 situation. You see this hovering bit of plasma right here where my pointer is. That's going to cause continued weakness in the GOES magnetometer, believe it or not. And we should see very limited spikes in the GOES magnetometer during these direct field force line areas. Note the Earth's field force line is indicated in orange. The estimated path is in orange. Out here we have stereo A, and over here we have stereo B. And this data is derived from about 50 ground-based magnetometers. Part of it is the National Sunspot Observatory, and we're not going to get into that, but you can figure it out pretty easily by looking it up on the internet. And if you're viewing the video, you probably have the internet. You're definitely not watching this on your cable provider. So let's expand the view from stereo A. This is the coronagraph at stereo A, folks. And we see that plasma plume sticking out that we just looked at on the gong. As it rotates, it looks like it actually collapsed a bit. So that's interesting. We see kind of a double plume thing going on here on the non-Earth facing side. Again, this is from stereo A, folks, so the Earth is out in this direction. We're viewing from a different galaxy, solar system, plane of existence, location in the solar system, spaceship, through a wormhole, or from the future. Please leave a comment. Here's where things in the solar system are located now. Here's where they'll be in 7 days. New moon will have just passed as Earth approaches the Saturn conjunction. Here's where things are above my head. Check out in-the-sky.org to create your own sky map. I always like to draw in the ecliptic as my sofa faces to the south. So it's a perfect indication of things like Venus rising, the moon near its apex, and Saturn setting. If you've got a low horizon, take some astronomical photographs and send it to the channel. We'll feature them on the live stream. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/smAsho, facebook.com/smAsho. If you want to check out Facebook, the world's most popular social media website and designer of quote software and and spyware. Also, check us out on Gab. I've put up some actual posts already. In fact, I'm logged in now. And I have to say, thanks, viewers. Well, please comment. Maybe I'll even put in a photo. Maybe not this time. Anyway, nice job, Google, being exposed with your stupid ideas. Also, follow us on Minds, minds.com/smAsho, the social media that will not censor or shadow ban or do anything besides provide you the views that you actually earn. We've got only 459,000 views there and only 705 subscribers. But there's only about 300,000 active users on Minds right now, so please create an account and check it out. It's completely censorship free, or damn close. As long as you don't do anything illegal, you pretty much won't get censored there. Also, thanks to our 2 new subscribers since yesterday, or perhaps we gained 4 and lost 2. I don't know. YouTube.com/smAsho, if you're not aware the location from which this broadcast emanates. Here's a 4.3 earthquake in Afghanistan at depth. Looks like another one in that same location too on the list. Heads up Afghanistan for a larger quake at the surface. Here's a 4.3 in the same area. We had a 6+ magnitude off the coast of Kamchatka yesterday. Let's look at the location of that. There's the regional information. It shows you old quakes. And I do my best not to lose my place. Looks like a small earthquake downtick, really, folks. 4.3 or 4.6. Yeah, small earthquake downtick, I say. 5.3 in the rift zone northeast of New Zealand, where we saw a 7+ magnitude quake a few days ago. Here's another deep quake at Afghanistan. So expect a larger quake at the surface, folks. We're seeing deep quakes at Afghanistan. If you're located there, expect a 5 magnitude quake at the surface, as these last 2 are over 100 kilometers depth. Here's a 5.1 practically at the North Pole. Check that out. That is not one you see every day, folks. Let me zoom out on this. Yeah. That's about as far north as it gets. And that is funky. That is a weird quake. That is a weird quake. End of story. Look how few quakes we've seen there. Check it out. So far north that we can't bring the map down because that is literally almost at 0 degrees. I mean, 90 degrees. 84.48 north. Funky. And a 5.1, so significant quake. Usually not even seen on the map. .7 off of Kamchatka. Pager says green. Here's a 4.4 at Indonesia at 90 kilometers depth. 4.6 at East Timor. 4.1 at the same location there off the east coast of Kamchatka. Volcano rundown. It looks like an uptick in volcanoes from the skimming that I did. Here we see Kluchaskoy back on the list, although volcanic ash not identifiable in satellite imagery. Shivaluch, 14,000 foot explosive ash plume there. Abiko. That's an uptick at Abiko there. It's now producing an 11,000 foot ash plume. Please don't fly over that in your homemade ultralight Ferrari branded aircraft. Rakoke continues, producing a significant sulfur dioxide gas plume, producing warnings for places like Alaska in the past couple days. So serious eruption there at Rakoke, which is right at the end of the Aleutian Island chains, folks. Tiny little island. It's basically just a volcano. Looks like it has shut off. No significant heat signals found. But it's still producing a significant sulfur dioxide plume, which is hovering over parts of Siberia, the northern Pacific, and Alaska, mainly at altitudes between 9 and 13 kilometers. Don't fly through that in any plane. Huh. Watch out for the sulfur dioxide, folks. Uluwun in New Guinea, explosive activity seems to have decreased. Damn, look at the list. Here's another one on the list. Sanginang Api in Indonesia. Okay. Sanginang Api. Explosive activity there. Haven't heard of that one before. The 7,000-foot ash plume. Please don't attempt to do a back handspring over that. Tokono, still producing a 7,000-foot ash plume. Popocatépetl looks like it chilled out in central Mexico, located very close to Mexico City. Nevado del Ruiz in Colombia, still producing volcanic ash. Sangay not observed. Revenador, 15,000-foot plume there. And please do not attempt to do the Fosbury flop over Sabancaya. It's producing a 28,000-foot ash plume. So uptick in volcanoes, folks. And we're just going to show you the windy cloud map and where the clouds are expected to be in a few days, because that's a significant volcanic uptick. If you're located near a volcano and you see a plume, please take a photo or video and email me at smashomash@gmail.net. I'll feature it on the channel. Also, for those of you requesting to be on the credits, such as Anthony, expect to be there. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to produce it yet, but there are a whole bunch of options available. We will make it cool and amusing, if humanly possible. All right, let's get off of windy. Look at the U.S. Doppler radar here. South Dakota and North Dakota are the spot of the local Earth spot right now. Look a little closer, as they are getting kaplastered, and it's about time to pull out the helmets and skiffs and catamarans and Spanish galleons and perhaps some ground suits to prevent lightning strikes and so on. I mean, lightning deaths. And yeah, let's look at this crazy Earth spot over South/North Dakota. Heads, shout out. Shout out to the South and North Dakotans. I would also note the amazing Hall current streamers on the northern edge of this. See all those parallel lines that are perpendicular to the motion of the water? Those are electrical Hall currents, folks, which are currents that form perpendicular to the mode of magnetohydrodynamic motion. So this is kind of cutting edge atmospheric physics here, folks. If you think only convective forces such as humidity, temperature, and pressure are what are controlling the atmosphere, think again. That's not the way it works. So we're doing some ultra advanced weather forecasting techniques here. And we're not divulging all of them because we don't want hacks at AccuWeather to steal them. But anyway, notice these shells that are coming off at the leading edge of this. It's because the energy is traveling down Hall currents, traveling in this sort of an orientation, kind of like a northeast to southwest diagonal mode. And I'm not going to tell you where they're coming from because that's a secret, and I'm going to divulge all that stuff at a later time. Although I think I know where they're coming from. Check out lightningmaps.org if you hear thunder, as it could save your bacon. especially if you're a pork farmer. Shout out Bismarck, North Dakota. There's thunder rolling in, and we are talking about real time. Speaking of shout outs, thanks for joining everybody. Whoever's here, cheers. Bakasmati, all right, I will set something on fire to amuse you. You're going to have to deal with this one in audio only, so check it out. We do requests on this channel. Listen to the sound. Yes, that was a real match being lit, folks, as we take out all the stops to create action during our live streams. Polar bear, I'm going to have to comment on Zarkova's latest published paper at a later time. Although I read the whole thing and I had serious concerns about most, if not all of it, as did Ben Davidson. But that's all I'll say for now because I have to go through it point by point. Let's just say I don't agree with it and I have complete lack of confidence in the data and models. Speaking of complete lack of confidence in data and models, as well as forecasts, we've moved on to the that is an ass and that is a hole in the ground vulgarity-free section of the stream, where we talk about objective search engines and stay positive when we refer to things like DuckDuckGo.com, the search engine that doesn't track you. It doesn't store your personal information. It doesn't follow you around with ads. It doesn't even track you when you're out of private browsing mode. How do you like that? DuckDuckGo.com. It'll return objective search results. Objective search results. The kind of search results that many companies will not provide. Please don't use their company as a verb. It's depressing and it makes my ears bleed. Also, check out Brave Browser, the browser that understands that you're not a product, doesn't treat you like one, allows you to browse private, secure, and fast, and is on a mission to fix the web at the same time while companies such as Apple, Facebook, Google, and Twitter try to ruin the web, at which they will fail, since the web can break them, but they can't break the web. Speaking of breaking the web, Democrat candidates have bad ideas. Let's go over some. How about penalties if companies don't pay men and women equally? An idea by Kamala. By the way, this editorial is by John Stossel, and links to it are in the description below the video. So please visit it and sponsor the channel as we provide proper news crawler services. And then we forecast things weeks and months before they happen, such as rising food prices and crop failures. Hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, which means censorship, which if politicians get to censor media, they'll censor anyone who criticizes them. And guess what? I used to be a Democrat. I'm an independent now. I don't identify to any political party because they're all junk. But part of the reason why I was anti-Republican in the 80s and 90s is because the Republicans were trying to censor things. And that angered me greatly. Because censorship is all crap. If somebody wants to say something you don't like, you should fight for their right to say it. Because the only speech that needs to be protected is the speech you don't like. So screw the government and screw big tech as far as censorship goes. Not going to happen. Good luck. We've got a constitution. If you want to be a publisher, be a publisher. If you want to be a platform, be a platform. And shut your mouth and allow people to have legit debates. Bernie Sanders wants the post office to offer banking services. And he wants the government to occupy the Federal Reserve Board because he thinks the government's better at banking than bankers. Cory Booker, aka Spartacus, wants people to be unable to wait. Oh, wait. Bernie doesn't want charter schools, and Cory Booker does want charter schools as long as they involve revolving door union money for Democrat hack politician school lobbies, school unions. Yes, because there's nothing better than a public sector union to funnel money into the Democrat Party, regardless of your political ideas. He also wants the guaranteed jobs. He wants government guaranteed jobs, folks. Anyway, links to this article also in the description. It's a rainbow unicorn ride, that's for sure. Here's another one about Democrats sparring, and you're going to see some amusing hot mic moments all over the internet today from this debate last night. I haven't watched it. I forgot to record it. Please leave a comment if you have an opinion. And here's an actual science article about the highest energy photons ever recorded coming from the Crab Nebula. So there's an article from phys.org. It's all over the internet also. Have a read about that. If you want to check it out, head to the Neil Gorell Swift BAT hard X-ray transient monitor and type in crab. And number 180 is M1, Messier object number 1, the Crab Nebula, a super powerful source of X-rays. If you want to follow the transients from it, well, there they are. They've just shut off entirely and then turned back on to a relatively high energy state. I would note the highest energy state ever measured, according to this, was back around, right around New Year 2014. Check it out. Anyway, links to that in the description also. And lastly, no, not lastly, there's also links to this Project Veritas video about a Google insider blowing the whistle on Google's political hack activities. I would note the way that their thumbnail shows celebrations for Israeli Independence Day, Ramadan, International Women's Day, LGBTQ anniversary, and Flag Day in Canada, but not Flag Day in the US, US Memorial Day, US International Men's Day, Easter, the largest religious holiday in the world, at least among Christians, and D-Day, not celebrated. Anyway, let's cut to a seemingly random portion, as I am a DJ, so you can trust me. And will it play? That is the question. Will it play? Has it been censored? Anyway, I think it is still on BitChute. Although, don't quote me on it. Let's refresh. Look at that. It's getting censored. Is it getting censored on BitChute too, folks? Could it be? Could it be?
CBS News doing the work. It's individual citizens, anonymous heroes who put their careers on the line, and they've struck a nerve and found their voice at Project Veritas.
By the way, Veritas means truth, and Mr. O'Keefe is telling quite a bit. Speaking of truth, let's talk more about the sun and so on. The easiest way to disprove the nuclear dynamo gaseous plasma theory of the sun is via the solar spectra, as a gaseous plasma could never emit a continuous white light spectra. Here's Robitaille talking about it. A guy who took out a $250,000 one-page ad in the New York Times at his own expense to try to tell folks that the sun's not made of a gaseous plasma, but that it's made of condensed matter. Let's play a clip.
Or reflection. For a black body, while all the possible processes involved have been considered, absorption and emission still constitute 100% of what is observed. Therefore, relative to black body radiation, absorptivity and emissivity are equal and constitutes the whole problem. Since all of the opacity must come from absorptivity for a black body, then it follows that the two are equal.
Anyway, the solar spectra is super important to study. If you don't understand it, I suggest you do, as the gaseous plasma ball of gas, hot flaming ball of gas theory of the sun is about to be completely thrown in the garbage. So stay tuned for that, as it's super important, and the implications for the rest of cosmology are vast. Here's the sun at 304 angstroms. As we haven't viewed this yet, there's a whole bunch of filamentary activity on the southeast, the northeast, and the southwest associated with that setting sunspot, probably. And if it loads, it's going to look awesome. And it is about that time, regardless of whether or not this loads. It's almost loaded, so let's give it a minute. There we go. So we'll let that play through, and then we will get out of here as if we just bought oil from ISIS at the Syria-Turkey border. Anyway, major filamentary activity happening here in a couple spots. Up here, for instance. Not huge, but pretty active. Also down in the southeast, down in this area. Most importantly, there's an active region rising. And we're going to keep you in suspense as to what it is. We only want to cover so much stuff on the channel. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink it. If you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.